What's up, Rockstars, and welcome to another Kickstarter update. There are a lot of big games that launched that I need to talk about. There's a lot of stuff coming up, some huge announcements of some stuff that I've been covering for 2 years now that are finally coming to Kickstarter this year that I need to talk about. There's companies that look like they're closing down. There's just, it's insane, as always. On Kickstarter, I'm here to update you about it. So let's go ahead and just get right to it. Now, as always, I'd like to have a huge shout out to my patrons and YouTube members for their support at the start of this video, just because it is through their financial support that I'm able to stay independent from the game studio. So as I cover these Kickstarters, you're going to see a lot of people that are working with the game companies and accept money from the game companies, all that stuff. I'm not one of them at all. I take no money from any of them. They don't know my bank account and they never will. That way I can tell you my honest opinion and not my wallet's opinion. If you appreciate that and can, there is a link down below to both of those, and I'd greatly appreciate it. But if not, that's fine too. I understand. Simple like, a share, a subscription, a comment saying that you found the video helpful or entertaining or in some way beneficial to your life, trust me, is definitely worth it, and I thank you for it. So with that out of the way, I'm going to structure this video kind of intentionally. So I'm going to start out a little positive because there's going to be some negative. I'm going to start out with the stuff that's there now for you to back, and then stuff that's coming up, and then general updates on stuff that you backed probably a while ago or that might be available in a late pledge. Starting things out with CoraQuest. Now, I talked about this briefly before, but Danny Hughes and his daughter did a wonderful kind of thing where they spent time together. I know, it's not nearly done enough, and that's because of board games. Board games allow you to spend time with your friends and your family, and that's what it's all about for me, and this is the epitome of that. It involves nothing but children's drawings. In fact, my kids are going to have some stuff in there as well as a whole bunch of other kids. And my kids are so excited to see theirs, see the other kids and see what they drew and stuff like that. It's a fantastic thing. It's kind of like a dungeon crawler that you can play with your kids. And I just think that's awesome. I'm all about that. You guys know, as a family man, I run a family of 6 over here. So with 4 kids, there's plenty of time to play board games with them and just enjoy each other's company and spend time together, and I love it. So I think this is looking cool. It's looking great. They're unlocking a whole bunch of stuff here, which is awesome. So love to see that. Love to see success. And if you have kids or you enjoy just stuff for kids, or even want to gift this to somebody who maybe has kids, this would be a great gateway thing. Again, it's meant for it to allow kids to actually play, and it actually looks kind of fun too. It's got some great, it's a dungeon crawler. I mean, what's not to love about that, right? You're rolling dice, you're fighting monsters, you're going through a dungeon, you're getting items. That's all I ask. That's all I want out of life, really. Moving on, we have Kingdom Rush Elemental Uprising. Now this is doing, it's doing all right. It's about $387,000, almost $388,000 pledged so far, which honestly, for a second, a little bit extra on top of it is fairly good. Now, it's no like Terraforming Adventures or anything like that. However, it's not too bad, especially for the quick turnaround, all things considered. It looks like it has some really cool bosses, 2 of them actually, which is pretty neat. Some new enemies, some new mechanics. Honestly, it looks pretty good. I have nothing against it except the fact that I already have a whole bunch that I still need to play. And I might check, you guys, I'll update you guys. You know, I always show you what I back, where I put my money, and all that kind of stuff. So you'll see me look at this, especially during its late pledge, and see if that's really something I want, especially once I get more into the first game to really find out if it's a hit. Then perhaps we'll see. But they're unlocking stuff here, of course, too. They talk about a whole bunch of different things, and they obviously have a whole bunch here. Again, if you were original backer, they do give you like a $15 credit or something like that for the storage. The storage, and then also you can go and get your like red hearts and stuff like that people complained about. All that jazz. Again, you can see the unlocks here, and they look pretty cool too. These shadow guys are cool. I like them. But yeah, I mean, it's okay, I guess. It doesn't quite get me pumped. Not quite, but maybe it will once I play the game. Moving on, we have Savage Company. This is kind of an indie game here that is all about mechs, and gosh darn, I love mechs. I grew up playing those like really crappy games where you were in the cockpit of a mech and you were like slowly lumbered and then paused and shot your missiles out, and it was the freaking coolest thing ever, and I loved it. They don't make games like that anymore, I feel, but I think they have like an MMO kind of one-ish, but I loved it. I loved that stuff. So seeing these cool mechs here, I love the styles that they have and everything like that's cool. It reminds me of playing like Front Mission, back in the day, Front Mission stuff. Like, look at that! What is that? That's crazy. It looks cool. It looks like they're going all out, doing some crazy stuff with all of this, as you can see. And so I don't know. I think they look pretty cool. I'm excited to see what else they have. You guys know I love giant robots, whether it's in a movie or anywhere else. If I can get some big old mechs, I think that's freaking awesome. So down with that. And yeah, I mean, it says it's fully compatible with 5e. Everything is, right? And Pathfinder. So yeah, I don't know. It looks like a diesel punk mecha war game is what they're calling it. I don't know. They're just mechs. That's also Tulsa, Oklahoma. I didn't even notice that. I went to college in Oklahoma, so kind of cool to see that too, I suppose. Moving on, we have Bloodstone. Now, before I go on, let me let you know that there are links down below in the description, so feel free to follow those. Either open them up while you're watching it, or go back afterwards, or pause it, or whatever you want to do. I'm making this video useful for you, whether it's the timestamps or whether it's the links, so hopefully that's of use to you. Bloodstone. This one did not make as big of an impact as I thought it would, which is kind of odd. I was more excited about it a year and a half ago, I think, too, and I don't know what it is. It could be the miniature count, which I hate really focusing on that, but I think that might be it. Tenaris kind of has it's my go. I loved the skirmish of Arena, the contest, like a lot. I love playing. It's a fantastic game, super strategic, a great game. So I already know I have a fantastic Arena kind of PvP thing. And so like part of me is like, I don't know if I need another one. Would I played over that? Would I like it that much more? I'm not sure. And then with Tenaris coming out, just enhancing all that, plus the campaign stuff. And this looks like it's like a campaign thing, but unlike Tenaris, it's very kind of boss battle-y in that there's not like a whole lot of like minions. There's a few here kind of thing, but for the most part, you're fighting this one-off or maybe two minis at a time. There's going to be a final boss that looks pretty sweet, 104 millimeters. That's very exact at 104, which I think is kind of funny. They got some templates. The dice mechanics seem kind of cool. So if I scroll down here, keep scrolling, and the scale actually looks in general quite large. Oh, they forgot to put the price of the champion on this pledge levels screen, which I think is funny. That wasn't caught in several days. It's 160 right here, by the way. But they don't list it there, which is, I noticed these things, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. I think everybody's getting the ink now. They didn't quite get it. Jeremy, if you're watching this, I apologize for not responding. I can get kind of busy, and we're doing a launch at work that I'll be working on Sunday to kind of deal with that. So I've had a really busy time. I saw you messaged me. I'm sorry I didn't message you back. I think you wanted to play a game with me, which I'm all about playing games. So that's unfortunate. Yeah. So this kind of thing here, right? So you can enhance your dice. Right, this is kind of the cool one where you can like actually give a bad dice to somebody, then they have to roll it, and that just sounds like good fun to me. Like I love the competitive part of that kind of stuff, where it's like, good luck rolling that, and then of course you give it to them and they roll low and like, no, you get all upset. I love it. I think that's great. So a lot of that, like, it looks like it's probably pretty good gameplay from what I can tell. I think it looks awesome. I like the theme of it too. So I'm not sure why it's not doing too much for me. And I think part of it's this campaign. I don't know what it is about the layout here. It just doesn't seem super exciting, and I don't know what I would do to make it. I would have to really sit down and read it all and take a look and like really figure out, why isn't this just lunging at me? And I'm not quite sure what it is, but for whatever reason, it's not. This is cool. I like this guy, by the way. There was a guy like this kind of in Claustrophobia, 1643. I painted him and really enjoyed it because I love the kind of glowing skull, undead dude kind of thing. I think that's cool. That being said, it is finally on Kickstarter. I know a lot of you guys were waiting on it for a long time, so, well, it's here now. Okay, let's move on to Zombicide. You know I was going to talk about this. This is Undead or Alive. They are almost at 1 million. Needless to say, the fact that they're not at 1 million yet is kind of surprising even for me, and I don't know if we're just running low on, being excited about Zombicide, but I feel like they broke 1 million day one on most of their other ones. I'd have to go back and check. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments if I'm right or wrong about that, because I'm not going to go back and check. But do let me, like, I would be curious to know, has there been another Zombicide that didn't instantly reach 1 million on day one? I feel like there hasn't been. This might be the first one that didn't. But I think there might be some stuff to that, right? This is kind of interesting, right? Like, I like a lot of the ideas here about balconies and stuff like that. However, they don't go into a whole lot of detail there. I will also say that they're doing this different. 14 survivors starting out. Normally, start out with 4. You start out with however many people you can have, maybe 6. It depends. Either way, like, they're just a little bit, and then all the rest are stretch goals and expansions. So the fact they're giving 14, where you get 4 gunslingers and 4 brawlers and 4 townsfolk and 2 faithful. Well, there's less faithful. What are you gonna do? Is actually pretty cool. I dig that a lot. They're also giving out custom dice, which they don't normally do. Now, they're wooden, which is, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like greasy fingers are going to make it dirty, and I worry about it. But it is great to see some custom dice going there as well. So, I mean, and a Gatling gun. I just like the fact that they're giving more options from the survivors starting out. It adds a lot of variety, and I'm really happy to see that. It'd be great if they added more than the 3 enemies core box, but, you know, is what it is. And then, of course, they have all these stretch goals. You can get all these guys here, which is cool and great and all that. Professor Fletcher here is a standout, and I want to tell you why. Because I notice these things, and it bothers me. It bothers me all the time. Let me see, where are the minis listed that I was looking at? I was looking at a picture here. Yes, right here. Okay. So, first of all, just notice that every single person has their, let's go without zombies. So all the heroes have their legs spread out, more or less the same. They're all just kind of standing, you know, like nobody's standing straight up. You also notice that all of the women's capes are going to the left, 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 left. Like, none of them are going right. It's all left, and none of them are going back, none of them are going forward. When I see stuff like that, I get kind of annoyed. Like, like, their pose is almost the exact same. He's holding his pistol slightly higher, but otherwise, like, the legs are almost even the same. Like, this foot's farther back into the side, this is farther back into the side. This one is bent a little bit more than that one, perhaps, but we're splitting hairs on this being a different sculpt besides the clothes on top of them, which is what they do with the zombies, right? So, like, the zombies, it's the exact same miniature, right? Same pose, they just changed their clothes, right? And I get that with this, especially with like, are their legs really different? Or are they standing the exact same? It just all seems so samey to me, and I really hate that I get that they want to be flat, right? Like, if I take a Command Mini, and you see how it's flat on the plane there, so they can do a single cast, right? It's the cheapest way you can make a Mini. So here, let me show you up close here. You can kind of see, sorry it's a little bright, but, you know, here he is right here, and as you can see, he's flat, right? It's so they sandwich together, super easy. One print, you have the whole Mini right there, you're good to go. Put them on the base. You can even sculpt them with the base typically if the base isn't big enough, because the steel molds have depth to them, right? You can kind of get away with that. So single cast, and that's pretty much what all of these are, right? I mean, they're going to be flat looking down, right? So looking on them, they're going to be flat. And that's different than, say, like, you know, even maybe like an Oathsworn Mini or something like that has at least some depth, not just the guy standing here. But anyway, I can't stand the whole, like, at least make them, like, have their... Like, let's say it's the wind blowing, right? We'll have somebody facing a different way so that the wind's blowing their dress back behind them, right? Instead of to the left, and to the left, and to the left, and to the left, and to the left. Like, or make one go right! Why can't dresses go right? So when I see the fact that her dress is going right, oh my gosh, she's the only one, because his is also going left, hers is furled up left, another right. There are 2 rights, and everybody else left. His is going back a little bit, which is kind of nice too. So the stretch goals are getting a little bit better, right? They're getting a little bit nicer with that, which I do appreciate. That it's very nice to see. And, you know, he's holding his weapons obviously different than other people, which is also great. So the stretch goal ones seem to me to be a lot better. I mean, that that's this, flat plane, right? As much as you can there. But the core minis, I noticed that every single person has their legs spread out like that. Like, he's almost there. But everybody, like, it just doesn't. And then when you put them side by side like that, like, that's the same pose. They're both just holding their gun like that. You raise it up a little bit, change the clothes, removed the chest, cut his hair, and he called it good. Like, dang it. I want more unique sculpts than that, please. Anyway. What I was saying before, where they were showing that kind of gameplay stuff, they don't really get into it a whole lot. They post the rule book, so if you want to read the rule book, that's fine. But if you notice, they never really say more about the gameplay than this. This is the gameplay information you get, unless you want to dig into a rule book. And that's unfortunate. I don't want to dig into a rule book. I don't want to follow a video. I want on the page, tell me what's different about this version. Every single Zombicide has unique mechanics, and that's great. That's cool. This railroad track sounds awesome. Tell me more about it than just this. I would love to hear more about the railroad. I would love to hear more about balconies. That just, again, that all sounds great. So tell me more about it. I wish they would focus more on the game, less on the minis, especially when the minis are all the same. Okay, moving on. We have Ares Expedition, the Terraforming Mars card game. That's really all there is to it. It's Terraforming Mars, but it's a card game version of it. It kind of it tries to capture that feel of Terraforming Mars, but in a card game for about $40. Speaking of $40, you can get it cheaper than here, like right now. And so if you go to the FAQ, they have, why aren't you answering questions about pricing? It's because, we don't really talk about pricing. If you're going to back the game, be happy with it and shut up. Otherwise, don't ask. It's pretty much what they're saying here. Go somewhere else and get it cheaper if that's what you're concerned with. So you can pay more and get the promos here, or you can get it cheaper elsewhere kind of right now. And so that's up to you. But this, I thought, was kind of poorly worded. I think you can be a lot more empathetic and have a deeper connection with your audience than this. We're fine with whatever decision you want to make, and if you back, you should be fine with the decision you've made. So shut up. Stop asking us about this. Don't back this Kickstarter and then ask questions about pricing. They can't be bothered. They're not going to answer that. Yes, they know it's cheaper elsewhere. And of course, you probably won't have the VAT shipping and all that other kind of import stuff, because oftentimes they'll do that, or they'll be on sale and all that other stuff. So, but that's generally the case anyway with most Kickstarters. In fact, I'll be talking about one later that's kind of like that too. I just wish they would have worded that nicer, a little bit better, a little bit more respectful, perhaps. It seems very terse, I guess is probably a good word for it. But I mean, I could scroll through it, but you guys can see it. Again, there's a link down below. It's a Terraforming Mars card game, which I think is kind of cool. I would probably actually play this version of it over the other one, actually, because I just feel like I feel like it screams quick card game kind of thing. $40 is pushing it for me. That's about the limit I'll spend on a card game that's just a card game like this. But we'll see. Normally I like the $30 better, $35 maybe, but $40 is like a little iffy. Let's go Wukong Journey to the West Collection, a 5e adventure. This is with STL miniatures, and I want to give them a shot because I think a lot of them look super cool. Of course, you love Wukong, right? Who doesn't? It's what inspired Goku after all. They got like this cool horse thing going on here. They have busts, a dog. The bust looks freaking sweet. I love these. They have, look at this thing, 500 millimeters. That's a 36 millimeter figure there. That is huge. I don't know who needs that, but I guess you can put it in your garden after you print it. Don't print that on resin. Do an FDM print on that. That would be insane. That'd be so much resin. Yeah. I don't know, how big was the Cthulhu with a big Death May Die miniature? Was that? I feel like it was not 500 millimeters. That is big. Really big. Now, this is not funding a crazy amount. We're at 19,000. I mean, that's, again, not bad. But what could make it go better? Let's give a little bit of critique here. I don't know what all you get. Right here, you get all the files from this Kickstarter for $25. First of all, that's awesome, right? That's cool. However, what are those? So I see a whole bunch here. Right, they're like in gold here, I guess, and it looks like this is that right there. So it looks like these are not unique here. So let's go and look down here. So you get 4 versions of him there, and you get 2 of these, and 2 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these, 4 of these. But then they show this chick. Who's this? She's not listed here. She's got lollipops. I don't see no lollipops. Right? Where'd this lady come from? Is she one I can get? I don't know. What about this celestial dog? Is he where am I getting him? So it looks like what's in the corset, 15 minis and 2 busts. So they show like, here's all of this, I guess, so you don't get these in. Why are you showing me? It says 2 busts, but I see, I guess this is the same one just spun around. So this is the 2 busts that you get here. And there was like this version of him. Where did this guy come from? If we go back up here, right? I don't see, I think it's probably that one. It just has like a custom base on it, I guess. I don't know. I have to let me look at the rocks again real quick. Yeah, okay, so it's that one. At least we found that one. Anyway, it's kind of, and then like I guess we get a scenic thing here. Do we get that? It could be organized better to show exactly what you're getting, right? There's Lollipop Person again. I don't see Lollipop Person. See, I don't see lollipops here at all. That's her, right? I don't see no lollipops. Or the hat, right? The hat's cool. I love the straw hat. Anyway, my feedback. It could be a little bit better there. Okay, let's go to Humble Bundle. This is kind of interesting. This is for Modifius, the Fallout RPG, which, by the way, is actually quite a lot of fun. I've played it a couple times. Not enough for me to fully give a review, which is why I never did, which is unfortunate. I do need to get that back to the table, though, because there are a lot of cool stuff they've been doing. They have embraced the 3D printing a lot, so you could get the Red Rocket Scenic set, the STL set, or you can get that whole thing minus the neoprene mat, right? Which is pretty much the only thing you're missing there. And you get the damaged version plus a non-damaged version. $1. $1. If you're looking for some scatter terrain for any kind of, modern thing or something like that, I might even be able to use some of this for like Warhammer 40K stuff. I'll have to take a look, but $1. And you get the rule book and how to play and the sheets and everything you need actually to play right here, minus minis, which again, you can, find other ways of getting minis. $1. That's huge. Even at like the $10, then some of they're adding the actual like Red Rocket set, right? The preserved one, and then also a whole building where you can take the roof off and go inside of it and all that. All again, very cheap for SDLs. And then even at the 8 more bucks, you get. I might get it just for this atrium stuff. This I know I could use for Warhammer if I wanted to. You got the whole flooring set. You got the whole wall set. You got like different supports and vault doors and stuff like that. Whole bunch of scattered terrain. You get a freaking vertibird. You get a APC kind of thing here. You even get a little mini Nuka Girl thing. There's a ton of value here, and of course a campaign handbook and a whole bunch of other stuff. These are all great deals. So again, link down below to this as well. I thought that was awesome. $1 for this is just almost a no-brainer, just from the STL perspective. And 50% discount, so if you need to get like more dice or something like that, you totally can. Okay, moving on. Let's go to stuff that's coming out. The Stuff of Legend, the board game. Look at the art on that. That looks super freaking cool. This is essentially, it's by the person who did Arkham Horror. You essentially, you control these like, toys to try and like, essentially outsmart the boogeyman. Right, it's essentially what you're doing, and it sounds cool. It looks cool. I love the style of it. Can't wait to actually see more about it. It just seems awesome. I'm a big fan of Stuffed Fables, and this seems like a darker, a little bit more mature version of Stuffed Fables. Considering my kids are older now, they'd be all about it. I think that's perfect timing almost. Moving on, we have Heroes of Valintia. I don't know how to say all these things. It's a chibi-style dungeon crawl that you can play with your kids. Again, I think that's awesome. My kids would love every single mini here. I can tell you that already, and the colors look cool too. I need to learn more about it, obviously, but it looks like it's card-based. It looks like there's some dice. Looks like there's some, basic doors and stuff like that. Some tokens on there to signify different POI and stuff like that. Definitely interested. Again, I'll take a look at this as well. Moving on, we have the Scare Factory. This is the second time it's on Kickstarter. If you recall, it was on Kickstarter before. Here it is right here. It did not successfully fund, like, at all. This reminded me of another game that came out at one point, just like art style wise, and I thought it looked kind of cool. You're playing like the bad guys here, right? And you're trying to like just be the bad guy here. There's some oddities around like that's way too skinny, obviously, right? Or there's some like ridiculous render stuff here that needs to that's not going to be in the miniature itself. So we'll have to see how it ends up, but it looks pretty cool. I remember, again, it's been a while since I looked at this, but I liked the idea. I liked the theme a little bit. So we'll have to kind of see how that is, but yeah, see all the flipping of the tiles and stuff like that. I love that in games, and that's super cool. So wish them luck on that, and I'll be looking forward to see what they have available this second time around. Moving on, we have Dice Head's Zoontalis Animal Adventures and Terrain STLs. I don't know what the terrain looks like, but I can tell you right now, I love that freaking bunny and lion. I think these two guys look cool. Can't wait to see what else they have here. Against another kind of 3D print RPG module set stuff. They do these all the time. I'm in it for the minis. I don't play the tabletop stuff, but the freaking giant cat face thing cracks me up. I do dig that. So definitely interested to see what they're offering when that comes up. The last one here is Sons of Odin. They're going to have a digital edition. Again, that means they're going to be able to print it out. If we go to the campaign, you can kind of see the stuff that was here. So you have like, werewolves and, regular berserker people, or not berserker, not barbaric. Oh, like a berserker. That's where I was reading that. It's a berserker and a shield maiden. The typical kind of animal people stuff. A lot of barbarians, barbaric. That's what I was looking for, is that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, they look pretty cool. You could definitely use these in like D&D and stuff like that, I'm sure. And again, they have quite a bit of them. So it looks like they're going to have a digital edition coming up. So we can be on the lookout for that. And you get some big old guys too. Look at that nose. Look at that conker. My goodness. All right, moving on. Oh, that's just Mortal Kombat. This is a trailer out. You should go watch it. It's very violent and cool. Let's talk about Batman. This is Batman by Cryptozoic Games. They are not known for making great, fantastic top 10 on your list games. And this looks to keep following that kind of IP meh-ness in my mind. I'm a big fan of Batman, and this doesn't make me feel like Batman. In fact, you get to do, it's like balancing in an Excel sheet. You get to like mark up what things are and stuff like that. Yeah, I have very little desire to, the moment I see you writing in a Sharpie, I'm pretty much out. Like I don't care to track different things in different sectors and who's what. No thanks. That looks like work. Like I don't want to manage things. I want to be Batman. Let me be Batman. Speaking of Batman, here's from Monolith. Mythic Battles Pantheon Ragnarok. They have the survey out. Again, there will be a link down to this so you can go fill out the survey. This is for you to be able to tell them what you want from Mythic Battles Pantheon. What do you want them to be able to make? They did a good job on Conan actually providing stuff that people were wanting. And, people would say, hey, I want this. Enough people said that. They're like, okay, we'll make it. The prices have gone up. They're much lower print runs, obviously, than the first time around. And the cost has just risen kind of everywhere to make stuff at this point. So there is that. However, they are doing some stuff that they weren't making available before. For instance, they have... Where is he? There we go. Corinthia. So they were not printing this before. I was not able to get him because they weren't printing it. Now I can actually get him, and I think that's cool. So excited to kind of be able to get that. Look at that, Conan! Conan! Okay, anyway, because he's a cross-platform. That's why I was tempted to get it. I wanted to get it. I don't have it. I think the other one that they were offering that may have not been available before was the actual guest box as well. This is the one with the pigs in it. I thought there were two, and I don't see the other one here, but maybe I'm missing it, or maybe I'll have to look. But they have like the Ymir and stuff like that as well. I'm assuming this is the 1.5 Pantheon version of it, but I'm not sure. Because if it was the Ragnarok version, I'm assuming it would be available. So anyway, feel free to go click on here and let them know what it is that you're interested in getting. There's a lot here. And again, I think that's great that they're doing that. And so be sure to spend the time to do that and let them know. And then again, like if enough people say it, they'll do it. So that's cool. Super Fantasy Brawl Round 2, that will be coming up in March, so expect more coverage of that in March. I'll tell you guys about it. There's going to be, again, a lot of different, like, that person looks cool, this person looks cool, this person looks cool. Like, these are, like, just, and that guy, I like that guy, too. Just looking at their faces, I am, like, drawn instantly to those three. I think look cool. Maybe especially the bandit guy and the I can't see chick. But I don't know who they are. Maybe I'll let you know. Maybe I'll be able to let you know what's going on in round 2. But yep, a solid game there. Again, I wasn't able to review it, sadly, but I was able to unbox it. And I've played it several times and enjoyed each time I've played it. So interested to see what else they have. Let's go ahead and look at the Fantastic Plants and Rocks Volume 2. This is on My Mini Factory, if you didn't know. They also do campaigns. They're doing one. It's almost at 100,000, which is great for the fact that it just allows you to print like pumpkins and stuff like that. But and a lot of other cool stuff, actually. Like a lot. They are actually, they maxed out all their stretch goals. They're adding more now. And some of this is a big deal. So they're going to have, like a painting contest and stuff like that. They're going to have you vote on some stuff, right? So they're going to have a vote here. They're going to have a new terrain pack, 2 of them. And then you can pick whether or not you get savings on a 3D printer or on a small printer, on a Vallejo paint set or on a Da Vinci paint brush set, which is cool. And you'll eventually unlock all of them. This is really the order that you unlock them in. And they also are doing an official My Mini Factory resin launch. I'll be interested to probably try that out. I think that's really cool that they'll do that, but you'll get a really big savings on that. And what would be nice is you could kind of almost back this, get a printer, get the resin, get everything you need through this campaign to actually print it, which is cool. Plus, everybody would get a free month off of MMF, which allows you to get $50 or 50% savings on a ton of different stuff. So cool to see that. Cool to see them do so well. I will be doing a specific video showing you all this, all the big monsters and all that kind of stuff. I'll show you that here shortly, actually. So be on the lookout for that. Additionally, I do have a link to this with a savings code. So if you are interested in this, which let me go ahead and click on here so you know what I'm talking about. And you want a savings code, link down below, and you can save on backing this so you get it for cheaper than other people just for watching me. So there you go. Maybe that'll help you out, get some stuff. Some of the big monsters, by the way, are super cool. I'm going to scroll all the way down. Oh my gosh, so many. Okay, and there's over 500 STLs. It's like insane how much you get for this, for like nothing. Oh, okay. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so you get like an Egyptian set with freaking like, I love the cut up scorpion, by the way. I think that's super cool. Freaking giant worms, dune worms. I love the base of this one, by the way, too. Underwater crap. That's just, again, love the coral and all that kind of stuff. Bone golems, all about bone monsters. That's super cool. Spiders. Everybody needs spiders. I love the pose of like this guy like crawling out like that. I think that's great. And the spider web. You actually get the spider web STLs as well. I think it would be huge. They could be super useful in a lot of different stuff. You get a swamp monster dude. You get this dude. This dude is huge. He's on 2 different bases. Massive, massive guy. So yeah, a lot of cool. And for like $11, I mean, it's like nothing. So super cool there. Again, there is a savings code down below. Almost done with this video, by the way. I know there's a lot here. Celestial is coming out in 2021 with Hips Miniatures. Oh my gosh. Let's look at some of these. Okay, so here is their version of Nua. So I have painted her. I'm going to show you what I have. She's attached onto a base. Sorry about that. But you can kind of see the detail level of my resin versus that hips. And so hopefully you can kind of see that. These miniatures look great, by the way. They are really, really good quality here. If I can focus, there you go. I'll show you a few more of these STLs here. Like this, like really, really good stuff. Really, oh man, see, I always do that. I always miss the arrow. Look at the detail on that head and the hair. You actually see like the strands in there and stuff like that, and the detail on the tail, like mermaid tail and stuff. I mean, these look really, really, really good. Here's another one just so you can kind of see. I have more I need to paint still, but I actually have this miniature painting video that I have. It's just like walking on a crab jetpack thing. Just haven't edited it for you guys yet to put out, but Hips Miniatures 2021 Celestial. I will be covering this. I will force Dimension Games to talk to me, and we'll be talking about it. Again, from my understanding, it's like an RTS game. It's like a StarCraft game, right? Where you have like your HQs, right? Like these people that have all these abilities and stuff like that, and you're going around the map. And then you have these like cheaper troops, these units that you're going around. I guess it's closer to like a Warcraft 3 kind of style thing where you have your named person that's going around and then all the troops around them. Sounds awesome. Like I'm all about that. That sounds great. Yeah, tell me more. Okay, actually, let's talk more about A Noble War. This is from the same people who did Sea of Legends. I don't know if this is app-driven or not. If you do know, let me know. I'd be curious because right now, I'm interested in it. If it's app-driven, I won't be, unless there's an alternative way. But look at the style of these. Like, they look really, really cool. I love the style of these miniatures. Super neat. Like, just hugely unique. I love it. And the art style here even looks great too. Like it looks really good. Like I will definitely be, look, there you go. What did it say? Wait, okay. I don't know. It's freaking out on me. Hopefully that means I saved it. Looks cool. Definitely want to hear more about that. Again, unless it forces me to get out my phone, in which case I'm far less interested. Bardsung. Bardsung is still giving you free stuff just from their pledge manager. They haven't stopped unlocking stuff. Here are foreshadows. They look freaking sweet. I love it. I think that's cool. I love that they're giving us more new stuff. I think that's great. They're still interacting with people. They have these huge updates. As you can see, people are actually voting and reading this story and choosing where things go and what happens. And I think that is just awesome. So again, you can still pledge manager this. Doing stuff like this allows people like me to still actually cover it because there's interesting things happening so I can tell you guys about it, and ideally that brings more people in so that their effort is rewarded. I think that's cool. I want to see that happening more often. Like keep the hype train going, keep the fun happening all throughout the time that you're asking for money. I think that's great. Those guys look freaking creepy. I don't like their little sunken eye things. Okay, let's talk about IDW. Metal Gear Solid is no more. Not moving forward with IDW at least. They're seeing what they can do. However, by the looks of it, he might have to rebrand it, which the designer is prepared to do. So we might get a not Metal Gear Solid game. Without all the branding and all that kind of stuff. And working with Konami, I hear, is kind of hard too. So there's that as well. But seriously, that sucks. That they've been let go and it's not working and they're not. It's just whatever's happening. IDW sucks. So let's actually talk more about that. Here's one. I'll go ahead and read the whole thing. This was on a website. I want to say it was like Kotaku or something like that. We don't know who Mr. Glub was, but we can hear what they were talking about, and it seems to corroborate everything we've been hearing. So this is a fellow board game designer that worked out the still unreleased Bomberman board game for IDW Games. I didn't know they were doing a Bomberman game. I will say the issue is more complex than it appears. IDW made some big bets in their media side of the company, doing TV shows for streaming services, and it cost them in ways that affected the other divisions of their company. Companies suck. Just kind of a general rule. IDW Games is now a skeleton crew. Former staff Emerson and I dealt with initially were let go of the company, and then those people that replaced them were also let go. Further, this is anecdotal, but Konami has proven too difficult to work with while also at the same time not giving them the time of day. Sounds like Konami to me. Will the Barman board game be canceled next? I guess we'll find out as my contract also expires this year. Things are looking dire though. A shame. Yes, a shame indeed. At this point, I would like to caution you to not put any money towards IDW. I get how that can sound like a self-fulfilling prophecy, but I don't want you guys to spend your money and not get something back. If something goes bad at IDW and they have to, shutter, I don't want you guys to be out money. I'm looking out for you guys here, okay? So, if whatever you've put in there, I don't know if you want to request a refund. I don't know if you can. I know exactly how to request a refund from Come On. I don't know about IDW, and I don't know if they'd even be able to. But seriously, stay safe with your money and spend it wisely. Okay. IDW needs to get their crap in order is what they need to do. And before I feel comfortable pointing you guys towards anything. But it looks like they're canceling everything that they were going to make anyway. So is what it is, I suppose. Let's talk about Hate. So Hate here has this Kickstarter exclusive project image where it talks about how because of its violent adult content, the entire Hate board game is Kickstarter exclusive or other crowdfunding platforms. This means the core box and any of its ancillaries can only be acquired through Kickstarter or other crowdfunding platforms and will not be made available to stores through normal distribution channels. That's the key word here. That's their saving grace. Limited quantities will be available to retailers who want to make a retail pledge to this campaign. See below. But if you're interested in Hate, this campaign is the only guaranteed place to get it. Unless you waited, in which case you can get it at Miniature Market right now, or Amazon, or several other online retailers for actually not that much more. Definitely better than scalper prices. And they have everything. Now, how did this happen years later? That's actually pretty easy. This happened because of the time machine. So I have a buddy that played my version of Hate back when I played it and loved it a lot. Wanted the own, if nothing else, because they know they liked the game, and then they can use the miniatures for a lot of D&D stuff. There's actually a lot of use there. So he backed it from the time machine, and it took months more than it should have. So if you recall, in the time machine, they were just going to sell their warehouse stuff. I know they were selling warehouse items in Kickstarter. There was a soundtrack too. It was just a sale. Right, they were just selling warehouse stuff like any other, like Miniature Market is right now. It's no different than Miniature Market there, but it was on Kickstarter. Don't tell people who say that you're not allowed to do that. But anyway, He backed it. It didn't come for months. Months and months. Like, it should have just been real quick, right? And it took months. It took months, and I'm going to go and say this. I don't know if I've ever said it on camera. I've said it in my Discord. I said it to him. I believe that what they had to do is they oversold what their stock was and had to go make more, right? Because the timing works that way, where if they had to actually order more from China and then have it shipped there and then shipped to him, that's the time it actually took. Not from their warehouse in Atlanta, right? This didn't come from Georgia. This came from China. If you did get your stuff from the time machine, go ahead and smell if it's sat in a warehouse, it's not going to smell brand new, right? It just doesn't work that way. So if it smells brand new, it's because you got it from China. So they were just, again, they had to go order more. I guarantee that's what it was. They didn't say that. They complained about, oh, it's a little more logistically difficult. And they're not inept. They just went and made more. When they went and made more, it sounds like they made it available to retailers again. So they were able to, again, order more. And I think that's where this came from. So this is a fresh copy that Miniature Market has, that sellers on Amazon have, and other places. They were able to get it through the time machine through another order, because they weren't just selling the remaining copies. They were essentially getting another order. So that's where that came from. At least that's my suspicion. That being said, Hate is a fantastic game, and no matter where you get it, you're going to have a good time. It is a great game. It has some fantastic minis, and it was the last, I think, come on game that I was happy with almost every single aspect of it. The game board is a little cheesy, but otherwise it is a solid piece of game. Everything in there's premium. They have 3D tokens for everything. It's just, it's a great skirmish game for sure. And it's super cool. Let's talk about Hell, the last saga, and how it's delayed. It is delayed till November, December 2021. I'll believe it when I see it. I wouldn't be surprised if it's delayed more than that. It's just how these things go. I think their first one was far too generous, but let's talk about why. One of the big things they changed, which I highly support, is that instead of one big tome, they are now making each song into its own thing, kind of like Solomon Kane. I showed you that on my channel. It's that way so you don't get spoilers, so that you just set up just what you need, and it's a lot smaller, lighter to be able to pass around. I think it's a great idea, and I fully support that. There's 14, actually, 14. Another thing they did is they changed the prayer system. They noticed it wasn't being used as much as they wanted to, because there was a lot of restrictions to it, and you didn't know what you're going to get. So now you know what you're going to get, and there's probably restrictions to it, and what they've seen is that people are doing that. So they're working on the game, essentially, right? And I think, again, that's a great idea, that they have a vision and they want a game to be played a certain way, and they're trying to get that to work. And of course, they're doing testing and stuff like that. I'm fine with everything I read here. I think it's normal stuff. And I think they should take their time and make it the best thing they can. Solomon Kane took way longer than it should have, but it ended up being great. And I really enjoy Solomon Kane. And so as long as I get a game, as long as you get a game that works for you, then when it comes when it comes. I would rather have that than something rushed, like what I felt Reichbusters was, right? Where I think they just pushed that out instead of delaying it more. And if it had just been 2 more months in the oven, where they had just refined a few more mechanics, because they did that with Errata, like that. Like, it wasn't that much more, just a little bit more. I think they could have gotten there. Take your time, Mythic Games, do it right, and everybody will be happy for it. I'm pretty much guaranteed. Well, you can't ever make everybody happy. 90% of people, 95% of people will be happy. And the other 5% will be very vocal, but is what it is. Okay, that's it. That's all I had. That's a lot. I'm out of breath. I need a drink. Not that kind of drink. Just like a soda or some water or something. I hope you enjoyed this update. I know there was a lot to go over. There was IDW having issues. There was Metal Gear Solid going away. There was new Zombicide not reaching 1 million. There was a ton of stuff going on. Cool stuff like CoraQuest and Kingdom Rush and Mythic Battles Ragnarok survey, a ton of stuff here. So if you enjoyed all the work that I put into this, gathering all this information for you guys, if this was helpful, if you enjoyed the timestamps, if you enjoy the links down below to everything, then please at least leave a like on your way out or a comment. Trust me, it helps. Doing both helps even better. YouTube loves that. It makes the AI super happy. That algorithm couldn't love you anymore, or couldn't love me any more than that. So let's spread the love, and I do appreciate it. With that, I'll let you go. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'll be talking to you guys very soon with another video. Hopefully my Bloodborne review. So be on the lookout for that. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.